Assalamualaikum everyone. I'm Nahil Forest Valley and I welcome you all to today's special session. And I'm from Karachi, Pakistan. It is an honor to have you all here. And our guest today is our distinct guy, individual who has uh, carved out a remarkable path in the world of strategic vision and coaching. Please join me in giving a warm welcome to Mr. Bertie Le Roux. Thank you so much, sir, for coming. Welcome, sir. How are you?
Thank you very much, and it's absolutely an honor to be with you. You know what you stand for and what you do. I really subscribe to that, so I'm looking forward to this interview, and I hope and my wish is that I can part with some of my wisdom and my experience for you and your audience.
All right, great. Thank you. Sir, please introduce yourself for my viewers.
Yes, my name is Bertie Le Roux. I'm actually talking to you this morning, my morning that is from Calgary in Canada, but I'm actually born and bred South African. But with my children, one now, my daughter being in the Netherlands and my son being in Canada, I am visiting them on a regular basis. My background is that I started my professional career out as a teacher, and I loved every minute of that as a teacher and as a coach, sport coach, that is. So I really enjoyed that. Then I moved into business, and I've been in business and I've been in all the roles in management, leadership, CEOs of companies, own my own company still today. But there's one thing that's always been very much part of me, and that is people development, to make certain that people become the best possible person that they can be, the best Bertie, the best Manahil. That is my passion, and that is what I'm all about, and that's what I'm here, and that's what I'm spending my time nowadays as a coach, and a mentor, a public speaker, and an author.
All right, great. Thank you so much, sir, for your introduction. So now let's move on to questions. My first question is, can you elaborate on your role as an executive, strategic vision consultant and coach?
Yes, one of the key things that I have realized throughout my life is that the lack of vision, the lack of purpose, that to get up in the morning is what is hindering most people in achieving the goals. So I spend a lot of time nowadays talk about the concept of having a vision. Because the moment you have a vision, you have so much, as I say, you've got purpose to get up in the morning, and that's your driving force. And the clearer the vision is, the nearer your future becomes. And I then say, if your future is then that clear, why don't you live your future in the here and now? Start being what you dream about.
All right, sir. Thank you so much for your answer. My next question is, how do you define beyond the thinkers and what is your approach to developing them?
Okay. But beyonder seekers, or then the word beyonder, if you Google the word beyonder, you ask Wikipedia the definition of beyonder, you won't get one, because it is not really a word that's been bandied around effectively. But I am a whole brain thinking practitioner. In other words, profiling people to understand who they are, why they do what they do, the way they do it. And that is Dr. Quibber's native material. And Dr. Quibber's native, along with a protege out in America, they started with the concept of beyonder. And it's because we often talk about the progress and development of people and of leaders from being, in a supervisory role to managerial role to a leadership role. But the definition of of leadership and being a leader has become, um, let's call it, challenging. Now, the concept of beyonder is what makes the difference. That certain people just become different. They are just a better leader than everybody else because they've got the ability to move beyond where others stop. It's like getting to a fork in the road, or a T junction in the road, and Most people just say, I can't see where I'm going. I'm limited. I see the forest in front of me. I'm turning around. Or I take a different road. Whilst on the other side of this temporary obstruction lies the answer, lies the future, lies the potential, and lies the opportunities. So the beyonder has got that ability to work through that, to see in his mind's eye the future and go beyond what is limiting today. So to instill that concept so that we can trust ourselves. Because many of us get to those points and our little voice on our soul shoulder tells us what we should do, but we don't trust him because we need to see, we need to touch, we need to taste, we need to smell. Only then do we believe. And we need to learn, and I teach and I help people to understand that concept. Go beyond wanting all the answers now. Go out and go and fetch the answers. It's there. So that is the differentiator between people that make it, that grow out of nothing. I mean, there's if you think of people that started out with nothing, they had a tough upbringing, schooling system. They were orphans. They were challenged, but they get out of that. They managed to grow out of that and make an enormous success of their lives because inherently, almost intuitively, they have the ability as a beyonder to think like a beyonder and therefore think future, think solutions, think opportunities. And if I could instill that in every single person that I meet, I'll be a happy person.
Great answer. Thank you so much, sir, for sharing that. My second question what strategies do you employ to help individuals achieve optimal results?
A very important question. As the principles of coaching is really to delve in people's past so that they can understand that deep down inside is a person, is potential that need to be unleashed. Because unfortunately, we are born into situations and into communities, into a schooling system, into religion, into all those kind of things that actually limits us to be ourselves. I always say is that we were born unique, gifted by our God, whoever our God may be, gifted by that God, and then sent out in the world to become achievers. And that means to stand out in the crowd. But unfortunately, because of all the influences from outside, we spend the balance of our time, and if we are honest and sincere with ourselves, we spend most of our time just trying to fit in because that's the right way to do it. If you fit in with everything that is the rules and regulations and that around you, and rules and regulations are important because they are the yardsticks that help us and focus us and align us to walk the best path. But it doesn't mean that we can't be ourselves. Now, as a coach, the most important thing, therefore, is to unleash that potential, to get that individual, we call them a coachee, to allow the coachee to share who he or she really is. In the ambit of the one-to-one conversation, to start telling, and with the use of power questions, we unleash that potential. So that because the moment we say it, we believe it. The moment I say it, you can challenge it, or you can decide not to believe it because I'm saying it as for you. In other words, I'm telling you what to do. No, that's not the right way to do it. The right way is for you to say it with absolute belief. Then you will follow it. So that is the first principle of effective coaching: is to unleash the potential from within, because your potential lies within yourself. I must just help you to say it so that you can believe it. And one of the key elements, therefore, that I use in terms of the whole brain thinking and the profiling is to help you to understand also why do you do what you do the way you do it. That's part of the unique you. That is one of the challenges, but that is one of the most gratifying experiences to start getting the coaching to release the suppressed potential that they have. Let them come out and they become beyond the thinkers and therefore achievers.
All right, sir. Thank you so much for your answer. My next question is how do you stay updated with the latest trends and developments in your field to better assess your clients?
It's become much easier lately. And many years old, many years ago, when I started out, if you wanted to know something, you had to go to the library. You had to go, study books, read books all the time, and that took a lot of time. But I was passionate about that. I enjoyed that as well. I'm not that good a reader. I'm better at listening. But that is where people like myself, in terms of my age, started. Today, we are so spoiled because even now with something things like ChatGTP, I can get an answer instantaneously. I can take my mobile phone and I can Google or go to Wikipedia and I can get instant answers. So whatever I can dream up, I can get answers to in support of my belief or aligning my belief or helping me to find the best possible way. I mean, you know it. People now writing books using GTP. Not necessarily that the AI is writing my book. No, I just take my concepts and my ideas and I package them in a couple of sentences and I throw it to ChatGTP and say, listen, create a chapter for me. So so staying ahead of time is crucially important. But now I've got access to everything. And may I digress on that question? Is that I was a temporary HR manager, contracted HR manager for international IT company, and I saw that once again there that so often, if when we find ourselves in a permanent position, that we get bogged down so much by the day-to-day activities and responsibilities that we forget that we are responsible for our personal development. And if I develop myself personally, I can add more value. But I get bogged down with the time that I'm spending in my job, and I forget to grow. And fortunately, be able to grow is so easy, and it is mostly of the time free.
All right, wonderful answer. Thank you so much for your answer. My next question is can you explain the importance of strategic thinking in today's dynamic business landscape?
Yeah, the strategic thinking is vitally important, but the concept has been expanded lately because at first, when people were thinking about strategic thinking and being a strategist, they were thinking about right brain kind of people, and there's only certain kind of people that is creative, creatively thinkers, and aligning their business according to creativity and innovation in their business. Now that has been changed. We are all equally creative, and therefore we all have the potential to really think strategically. Some of us will think strategically in terms of what we have and where we're at, and others has got the ability to go beyond that. See, we get the word again, go beyond that. In my philosophy around vision with imagination, creating a vision first, is I have moved away from strategic thinking the way we strategically did that. And in organizations, when they think strategic, they sit down and we have a get together with our board or our teams, and we think about where the business is at, where the business is going. But I don't enjoy that, because at the end of the day, we've got a team around the table, and a team consisting of specialists. So you've got your marketing people, your sales people, your production people, your management, your HR, your finance, your CEO around the table, and each of them has got a role in the organization. Crucial role, very important role. But the problem is that we don't see the potential in each of our team members, because we will look at the HR manager and saying, if I've got a question about the people, I can ask you, Bertie. But if I've got a question about production or marketing, I'm going to ask that specialist. But they forget, for example, that if there's troubles in organization and people are finding being stressed and unhappy, where do they turn to? They turn to HR. So they come to HR and they share their feelings and their experiences with HR. And when HR asks the why question, it is in production, because out there in production is where that individual problem starts. And in production lies the answer to the solution of his problem. So HR doesn't necessarily only get involved with people matters in organization, they get involved with everything. So where's my answer moving to? I believe that when we talk about strategic solutions, strategic thinking, we need to move away from the traditional vision and mission of the organization and the SWOT analysis, strengths, opportunities, and threats and so forth. We'll move away from that. When I assist companies from a strategic perspective, I ask them to visualize their future. In other words, and that's why my background is here, is above the clouds. I want every single team member to move into space where there is no sacred cows. In other words, there is nothing sacrosanct that I am the only person that can talk about production, or I'm the only person that can talk about the management of the organization. No, every single team member has a contribution to make. And when I'm up in space, creating this ultimate vision and start seeing my company, seeing my life from a different perspective. Because if I'm up in space, what do I see? I see the earth as a globe. I see my continent. I see my country. I see my province or my state. I see my town. I see my company. You see where we come from? I see so much more than the bottom, because otherwise we strategize by sitting in our seat in the boardroom. And what do we see? We are limited by the horizon, by the four walls of that boardroom, but then also the horizon outside, because we try to strategize from the bottom up. And I'm saying, no, come and strategize from the top down. See your future, create your future, and with imagination. But the strange thing is, the imagination is something that is instilled and lying dormant in your subconscious mind. It's already there. Doesn't matter what we do in life, where we are at life, whether we're 15 years old or 50 years old, it doesn't matter. We have got the same dreams, unfortunately, most of the time, locked up in our subconscious mind, because we don't get the opportunities to let it go. And if we do, people say, shut up. I didn't ask you. I'm not interested. And we break that down, and then we're back to where we started. We're saying born to be unique, born to stand out, but we suppressed. And therefore, and then at the end of the day, we end up just fitting in. And if we fit in, we are living in the here and now only. We don't recognize tomorrow or the day thereafter. And the world needs visionaries to create a new world, create a new future. So get back to strategy and strategic thinking. I'm passionate about starting with the why first and not what or how. That will follow suit.
Great, sir. Thank you so much for your answer. My next question is: in your experience, what are the key factors that contribute to sustainable personal and professional growth?
Now, you're asking great questions. You're asking great questions, and thank you for that. You're challenging me on the spot, and I'm really enjoying that. But you will see that in terms of the answers to the questions, is there's these questions you ask and the answers I've given is sort of leading into them. Um, so so that it's important that we realize that whilst you're asking the question specifically, and particularly with a certain outcome in mind, can I just ask you a favor? Can you just throw that question up again so that I can just get the context of that question again? Sustainable personal and professional growth. Okay. There is no, I don't think there's necessarily a checklist that one you need to go through and say these are key factors that contribute to sustainable personal and professional growth. The most important thing is that you need to want to. You need to want to change and you need to want to grow. But in that therein lies a very important question and very important answer. And the question is where to? There's I often in my talks talk about Alice in Wonderland. In the story of Alice in Wonderland, the Alice were approaching a fork in the road, and she had to make a decision on where to go. And she obviously didn't know which one to take, left one or the right one. Unfortunately for her, in the tree they sat the alley cat, and she asked the cat, "Which road should I take?" And the cat answers, "It depends where you want to go." So the first answer to the question is, where do I want to go? In terms of my growth and my desire to change, where to? Because I can change for the matter of change. But changing in the right direction is important. And that I think is one of the key challenges that our youth of today has got. They have got access to 360 potential job opportunities and careers and futures. Which ones should they take? So we are bombarded with opportunities that look fantastic, that look like fun, that look like he's going to make a lot of money, and I'm not making monies. I'm not making decisions for me. And the most important decision I need to make for me is for me because it's my life. I can ask other people as a soundboard and say, listen, I was thinking about this, help me with my decision. In other words, alley cat, help me with my decision. But at least I need to give the alley cat an idea where I want to go. Then the cat will be able to say to you to take the left road because of. So that is the important thing. And a dear friend of mine, Dr. Pixie, once told me about the three P's, which it says passion plus purpose equals prosperity. And the prosperity here, we can just link to success. Some people will say money in the bank is success. Others will say job satisfaction, status, whatever. But the fact of the matter is we need purpose first. We need passion first. Then prosperity will follow. But if we just want to drive our life to be prosperous, to be successful, we will do anything for immediate gratification. for immediate success. And that is the worst thing we can do. Then we will choose a career based on other people or what we see as being success and not what we see when we look in the mirror in terms of what is success for us by definition. And that's key. To me, that is so important. Unfortunately, I mean, I can tell you that in my middle 50s, I've realized what I should have done with my life. I should, for example, never have left teaching. I am a teacher by birth. That is my passion. I fulfilled part of that by helping my team members and my colleagues grow and develop. And I was involved with community work outside of the workspace. Didn't know that that is what passion that I was driving, but that's so important. So because if you got that right, the direction, the personal direction, will allow you to focus on what you need to do and when, um, in terms of your choices for growth. And may I just add here, Manail, I have in 1988 developed a program based on this on a board game, Snakes and Ladders. Do you know the game? It's a board game that has got that with numbers on it, and you throw a dice, and then you move up the board game to number 100, and first get to the 100 wins. You've got your ladders, and you've got your snakes. I created a game around this because I realized that that is life. That that board game represents our life. The game's rule says you must throw a six before you start. In other words, I must equip myself before I start down my chosen path. That implies I must know where I want to go. Number 100, wherever. That is my purpose. That's where I'm going to go. The moment I understand that, I would understand that the ladders in this game is defined by opportunities. If I do not know where I'm going, therefore, any road will take me there. How would I be able to distinguish between opportunities, good or bad? No. The moment I'm focused, opportunities come to me and I can take them. And in the board game, all of a sudden you move up 20, 30 blocks because you've taken the ladder and you've been patient enough to throw the right number to get to that start of that ladder, which is like this life. I will prepare myself. I will do a university degree or do a college degree or go to a technical college where I can learn how to be a plumber, how to be an electrician, because that is where I want to see my future. But then in this game, and that is part of growth and development, is things happen. It happens that you end up and you throw it on the block of the snake's head, and down you go. You don't have a choice. Life is cruel sometimes when things are going so well and you think I'm on top of my game. Something happened. But if you are focused on your future, you will be able to stand up. People stay down too often. And the most important reason is because they don't know where they're heading, where they want to go. If you know that, you will get up. Doesn't matter how much life is knocking you down, because you've got your purpose, you've got your passion defined. Prosperity, will follow. Sorry for the elaborate answer to your question.
Great answer, and thank you so much, sir, for sharing incredible example. And thank you, sir, for sharing your incredible journey, insights, and wisdom with us. Your dedication to developing beyond a thinker and fostering strategic vision is truly inspiring. As we come to the end of our conversation, I'd like to express my gratitude on behalf of everyone for your time and valuable perspective. Your words will adaptedly leave a lasting impact on our understanding of strategic thinking and personal growth. To our audience, Thank you for joining us today to listening and learn from Mr. Bertie Le Roux. Remember, the journey to becoming a beyonder thinker begin with the steps we take today. With that, we conclude today's session. Stay tuned for more enlightening discussion. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. May I take the opportunity, Mahil, to say to your audience out there, they're more than welcome to go online and Google Bertie Le Roux. My website is www.bertieleroux.com. There's more of what I've just shared with you um, in the cloud. And may you be extremely successful. And please sit down, define your end state, your dreams into a vision, and you'll be so much more powerful and effective. Thank you for the opportunity. Love to be here.
Thank you so much. It's also my opportunity. Thank you. Have a wonderful day ahead. Bye.